And thank you to the African American Credit Union Coalition for inviting me and asking me to share in such a special evening. Well, first and foremost, congratulations to the inductees this evening, our honorees. What a special night. Each of you are well deserved of the recognition. When Renee contacted me and asked if I'd speak this evening, she said I would have about 15 minutes. Well, I immediately had about 500 ideas. That's not going to work. So in the interest of time and in the interest of maintaining a Zoom-worthy attention span of those in the audience, I've pared it down considerably to just a few ideas. I'm sure you're glad to know that. I hope you enjoy this evening. I'm always impressed by anybody whose name appears in a Hall of Fame or on a walk of fame, if you will. Hall of Famers are very special people who excel at a level far superior to the expectations of the established norms for their particular profession. Whether it be a highly noted baseball Hall of Fame or football Hall of Fame, or maybe even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or the less recognized Cleveland-style Polka Hall of Fame, or the Kansas Cowboy Hall of Fame. Yes, there are both. It doesn't matter. Whoever's named adorn the walls of those institutions is the very best at what they do. The Coalition's Hall of Fame is no different. Likewise, it represents the best of our credit union movement. The inductees tonight who joined the previous inductees are just the very best that our movement has to offer. My guess is that whatever Hall of Fame one belongs to, the character traits of those individuals are cut of the same cloth. Look, the professional skill set might be different, certainly would be, but what they have is a way of character. What they have is the way of the depth of what motivates them to do what they do is easily transferable among one profession to another, from our inductees tonight to us. Those character traits are invaluable. What's it take to be the best of the best? Well, first, you better love what you do, whether it be Mr. Bailey or Mr. Blaine, Mr. Brooks, Mr. Pembroke, or Miss Smith. Whoever it is, I assure you, they are all about excellence and they love what they do. What we can learn from these particular folks is invaluable to our own pursuit of being the best that we can be. Look, my guess is that the inductees tonight know that perfection is not achievable, but excellence is. And they set out every day to be the very best they can be, to raise the bar in their words and their deeds and their actions and their leadership. Likewise, they are purposeful and passionate. These are those character traits I was talking about. They don't quit, another great trait. They don't even know the meaning of the word. They're not afraid to fail. The speed bumps and potholes along the way that they might encounter just motivates them to further persevere, never to give up. And their focus is laser-like. They little things matter a lot to them, and they focus in on that as well as the big picture, and they are not afraid to get help from others. Each person honored tonight is just strong during the toughest of times. They never give up hope. They always have the power of hope. You know, it's said that you can live weeks without food and days without water and minutes without oxygen, but you can't live a second without hope. Our honorees bring hope to so many people because of their efforts to make their respective communities the very best they can be. Ms. Smith, along with the gentleman honored tonight, are not afraid of being different, another great trait. In fact, they seek to be unique. As business leaders, we find at the top of our list of things to do this idea that we should be excellent and be different. The financial services world is commoditized, and we attempt to get our credit union to stand out in order that we can grow. New competition and new copycats enter every day to the plethora of banks and credit unions and fintechs and big techs and little techs and just de novos and challenger banks. And they all just come in and are all vying for consumer attention, all trying to differentiate and capture market share. The mind bender, the $64,000 question for us is always, what makes us different? What makes your credit union different? What is the pixie dust that ensures that you capture market share? Maybe, just maybe, the differentiator is the market served. Think about it. If somebody has a lot of money, they have a lot of options. Conversely, those with few dollars have few choices for their banking. Maybe the differentiator for credit unions is to seek a market less served. You know, in addition to the inductees tonight, the AACUC has been a leader in our movement, credit unions, to become more diverse and inclusive, trying to find new markets. Their commitment to change initiative places diversity and inclusion at a whole new plane. We're long overdue. I heard it said not too long ago that credit unions were for old people. Oh my goodness. That's couldn't be further from the truth, but sadly, perceptions in many people's mind is reality. We must show ourselves to be far from such a label. With energy, knowledge, and understanding, the coalition helps us with our choice to serve these LMI populations, these low moderate income groups. When banks and other financial entities head to the suburbs to compete, credit unions are left to make an informed decision to plug into the diversity found in communities of color. The coalition's commitment to change initiative helps credit unions to focus on financial inclusion, to close the racial wealth gap, and to improve our community involvement. They're there to help us to be unique and significant through financial education, through small business assistance, increasing home ownership, youth development, and workforce development. We can become part of the investment in these diverse communities and stand out. The AACUC's effort is of a Hall of Fame mentality, as well as our inductees this evening. As each Hall of Famer would attest to, we should do something rather than to be the same. We need to stand different from countless competitors who chase the same market filled with upwardly mobile suburban wealth. Quite frankly, we land a few punches and they land a few punches, and the next thing you know, we're both bloodied, and it does neither any good. Be different. Go the route of finding an unserved market and becoming a financial institution of choice. A quick story. St. Louis Community Credit Union was asked by a credit union official long while back, said to us, was it your intent to serve poor populations? Was it your decision? His words, not mine, poor populations. He was absolutely amazed when I answered the question with yes. Yes, it was our strategic plan to reach out and serve LMI populations, to differentiate and serve markets that otherwise were left to just have check cashers and payday lenders. I'll never forget the look on this guy's face. He looked at me like, how could it be? Oh, it be, my friend, it be. As I alluded to earlier, the Hall of Famers seek the help of others to effectively collaborate in the marketplace. Partnerships are key. So is creativity. It's just the way it is. We have to be both seeking partnerships and looking for creative ways to reach them. Many years ago, the AACUC was at the top of our credit union's list with whom to partner, and we pressed into their help, and they did not disappoint. Spearheaded by my dear friend of 30 years, Hubert Hula Hoosman Jr., Hoos to the world who loved him dearly, provided the encouragement to move further into understanding what the coalition might be able to bring to our credit union. We heeded the invitation and became involved in internship programs coordinated by and between the AACUC and the University of Missouri. We took a big early step to becoming an employer of choice, as Hoos would say, onward and upward. Our Hall of Famers know that community partners are the must because of the general lack of trust in the marketplace for banking institutions, especially in communities of color. We have to find those entities within the credit union ecosystem and within the communities we choose to serve that foster our trust. The coalition can help. We need to be creative. Who can we align with? For starters, we set out to hire a diverse staff from the same neighborhoods from which we were choosing to serve. That immediately gave us trust and credibility. Look, know your community. Go find who you need. They're there, I assure you. In fact, they've been waiting for you. And teaming with them, the community resources, and hiring the right people brings a higher level of credibility and comfort and confidence to the people in the community. The African American Credit Union Coalition will help reach and build creative partnerships with so many people, human service agencies, social service agencies. We need to make the introductions of our credit union and be creative and align with them and align with food banks, align with housing developments, settlement houses, Head Start programs, neighborhood programs, women's shelters, educational programs, prison reform programs, and the list goes on and on. And with each contact that we make, it becomes a pebble in the pond. And with each partnership, it allows us to lengthen our tent cords and strengthen our stakes. Creativity can lead us to partnering with banks and local governments, the U.S. Treasury, local businesses, countless local businesses, the NAACP, the Urban League, philanthropists, universities. You get the idea. All sharing the same unabated desire to serve the communities that we previously had not thought of as viable. Yes, creativity is essential. Likewise, Hall of Fame leaders recognize that one must have purpose and passion. We should be focused on communication with our staff all day, every day, to the point of exhaustion. Why we exist and what value we create in the marketplace is essential. It's the message that we need to rinse and repeat all the time, because sadly, too many of our employees do not know how much value we provide to people in the marketplace. When we have a workforce with purpose and a workforce with passion, then we are far and away above our competition. The goal is always passion over paycheck. Listen, the Hall of Famers that will come after these Hall of Famers, the young people today that are becoming leaders in our movement, will understand that the world and the workforce has changed. Heightened advocacy and activism through the use of social media demands a large attention be paid to social responsibility like never before. Community engagement will be at a heightened concern, especially among demographics like younger demographics. Likewise, our corporate culture will demand flexibility, diversity, dignity, professional development, and shared decision-making. Purpose-driven workforces will come to the forefront of a younger workforce's demands. Look, Hall of Fame leaders know that those honored here this evening are great at maintaining their focus. That's not always easy to do. Think about it. Each of us our operations are like a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. And there are interruptions, upsets, attitudes. There are a host of distractions, all leading to disrupting our focus to serve, not the least of which has been this pandemic. To all of our leaders in the credit union movement, we have worked so hard to work our way through this crisis. We know people who were once set in their dreams, their goals, their financial stability, who now are literally fighting for their lives. And we know the negative impact that of the pandemic has been disproportionately high in communities of color. Consider the changes that we've had to make through darn near a year now. So many, our members and our staff have either been sick or trying hard not to be. Along with thousands of people, we find our members fighting to have good health and financial stability. Many of them still remain without jobs, though. We've been busy physically distancing ourselves from anybody who breathes, which isolates us and leaves us lonely, like tonight. Zoom is now our lifeline for everyday interactions with others. Leaders understand that the uncertainty of all that's happening and not happening around us is leading us to think in things in new ways, think on many new fronts. As we move forward in our pursuit of success, take heed of what has worked for our Hall of Famers, those we look to tonight as our inductees. They were different. They sought to be different. They sought to find partnerships. They're creative people. They're purpose-driven people. They're passionate about what they do. They have hope and they have focus. These are the linchpins of our success. The profile of credit unions and our important role in the community grows every single day. With the AACUC, we look for many initiatives of advocacy and support and diversity and inclusion, all with that demand a new level of recognition. Credit unions are recognized by so many people as what is needed to fill the financial services void, both now and for years to come. As I leave you tonight, let us just be thankful for all of our credit unions and all of our credit union leaders. Let us be thankful for the AACUC that just puts forth so much work. And without question, let's be thankful for our Hall of Fame inductees for always seeking what is needed to ensure the success of our members and for the communities we serve. Congratulations. We hold you in the highest esteem. Thank you all for having me here tonight. I enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you again, and may God bless you.